Hello, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of Cocktails and Convos. My name is Chris. My pronouns are he and him.
And my name is Shane, and my pronouns are he or they.
And our drink of the day today is, we actually invented this by accident. It's called the NB cocktail.
Yep.
So again, if you are having a drink with us at home, please drink responsibly, but enjoy. This is getting a little deep, so like, all bets are off. I'm a little lit. Shane, I don't know, how are you feeling?
We're drunk.
What's the topic today?
The topic today is trans people in the media and the representation, because in recent years, there's been a surge of trans people and gender nonconforming people that have been showing up in TV and movies and the like. And that's actually really great, because we've actually had this huge surge, like I said, and we've been seeing them as like not the butt of the joke.
Yes, so important. So makes me feel happy.
Yeah. So we're gonna talk a little bit about that, and we're gonna talk about the ways that they're doing that.
Yes.
And like it's great, but there's also ways that it could be done better. And,
right. Absolutely.
So let's just jump right into it.
Oh, so yeah, I think we're at the tip of the iceberg of representation starting to be good and fair.
Yes.
But there, Lord only knows there is so much farther that we can go and things we can do to make things, more inclusive, more accepting, more actually representational rather than something farcical or something that's a joke.
I'm kind of at this point where I'm like, cool, we have representation, but should we just be like, oh, yay, we have representation and just be happy with whatever bone we're thrown and not just fight for better representation and actual representation that isn't just eh?
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, of course, we shouldn't just, trans people shouldn't just take whatever bone they're given. That's bullshit, If you look at how media, specifically movies and TVs, has grown in the last, a movie's been around for 100 years now, right? Almost 100 years for film, something like that. First it's, it's mostly white dudes. And then, women start coming in, and then African-American representation, then people of color, and then gay people, It's a natural progression, and we're just finally getting to the point where trans people are being acknowledged and understood in a healthy way.
Yeah. So let's jump right in and let's talk about a little bit of where we've seen people, trans people and gender nonconforming folks in the media. So a big one that I saw that was kind of like really fun to me, which was we saw in Doctor Who actually, was Lady Cassandra, which a lot of people don't know that she was trans. And it was fun because she was
I didn't actually know that.
Yeah. So she was
crazy.
It was actually, she was a kind of a funny character. She was a bitch. She was the moisturized me. She was the big flap of skin.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
the moisturized
I
me,
get it.
Lady Cassandra.
That's so good.
So she was a bitch. She was a joke character, but the joke didn't revolve around her being trans, which I thought was
the joke
so
was
cool.
the character. Yeah.
And she was like season 2 of Doctor Who, so that was way back.
Holy shit. Really?
So, yeah, that was
crazy.
That was really cool.
That's interesting.
And then more recently, we've had things like American Horror Story Hotel.
I love that character. I think that was Dennis O'Hare, I think is the actor's name, played them.
I think so. But it was a gender non-conforming character, and I just thought that they were so great because it wasn't just...
That role was good.
Like a trans person, a typical narrative like you'd normally see.
Yeah.
It was someone that you really had to invest in, and it wasn't just an average portrayal.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a really...
And it wasn't offensive. It wasn't a caricature.
It wasn't offensive. Yeah, you're right. It wasn't anything
like that. It was great.
It was tastefully done. It was well acted.
Oh, it was gorgeous.
That role was good.
It was so good. It makes me
so many good moments,
happy.
especially, we won't spoil it. If you see that season, it's the American Horror Story Hotel. It's a very good character, and it's very positive representation that I am happy to say existed and that happened.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And then there's things like The Fosters, which is like one of those like teen family drama movie or TV shows. And they had this character, Cole, who was in a group home for girls who ended up being an FTM character.
Yep.
who later on in the show they show throughout his transition, and he was actually acted out by a trans character, trans actor,
performer, yeah.
And that was just so great, and that made me so happy.
That's such good things.
So that's really great. Thinking, who else do you know from
media? Well, media. The one you and I watched a couple months ago, we watched, if anyone hasn't seen this, it's by the Wachowskis, Sense8.
Oh, yeah. Oh my God.
Thinking Nomi, right?
Yes, Nomi from Sense8.
You know, Sense8 was a very ensemble cast show, but Nomi was very prominent in the show, and I believe Nomi was played by a trans actress.
She was not.
Really?
No.
Are you sure?
100%. I'm wrong.
No,
all
it's
right.
okay. No, I was.
Well, that's even better.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's why the Wachowskis are so important, because they're trans directors and producers.
That makes me so happy.
Yeah, I think that's one of my favorite characters that was hugely. You know, okay, so this is something that happened it happens in the gay community too. It kind of goes with Nomi. Is there's so much of the time that those characters and stories are represented in a way that's always, they had this tragic backstory. They're always sad.
Yeah.
There's always something going on, and and I think Nomi for part of that had that in her character.
Well, yeah.
But there was some redemption in that as well.
Yeah,
in the story.
Her family
I won't spoil anything.
Wasn't accepting. But the thing is, the really cool part about it was you didn't know that Nomi wasn't. You didn't know that she was trans until pretty far in.
Yeah, they pointed it out. They had to,
You know, like, it took you a while to find out. And not only was she trans, but she was a lesbian.
A trans lesbian.
She was queer all around, which was really, really fun to me.
So cool.
It was just...
That show all around was...
Just a brilliant, gorgeous show.
Lots of queer homages. Yeah, it was a good show.
So disappointed when Netflix canceled
it. Same.
It was the worst.
So yeah, we've talked about some current examples of trans people in the media in movies and TV that we've really liked. I think we should transition maybe into, this is going to be kind of a weird transition. Hey, toss me the money. We should transition into, this is really important. It's something that this is tough for me because it's a big topic and it's hard to say which way to go, but trans characters being portrayed by, that was Ted's
tossed us the money.
Toss me the money.
All right.
I'm not giving these back.
Ted, stop
Ted's
tossing us the money.
credit card number is 4413-821-45. Anyway, we should jump into the idea of trans
characters being played by cis actors.
Yes. Should we? Okay. We're assuming that people know what that term means.
Okay.
And the word cis people ignorantly think that's a bad word.
All right. So
unpack that a little bit, just so you know.
Let's just have a real quick vocabulary session here. So, cis is shorthand for cisgender. Cisgender just means that you identify as the gender that you were born or assigned at birth. Whereas transgender just means that you do not identify as the gender that you were assigned at birth.
Bada bing, bada boom. Super easy.
So, cis is not offensive, just as trans is not offensive.
Exactly.
All right.
I'm glad that we go. Because some people take cis as a bad thing, and we don't want.
If you didn't know that, no harm done.
No, we're informative. We want to learn here. We're all about learning and
definitely.
And talking.
There's nothing wrong with that, and just now you know. So back on topic. There is, if we really look at it, I do not think that cisgender actors should be playing trans characters, for the sole fact that for years now, transgender actors have not been able to get roles as cisgender characters. So the very few roles that are available for trans characters
should be played by trans performers.
They can't even get those because the cis actors are coming in and taking them. And I'm not saying that if a cis actor is better, they shouldn't get the part. But really, if they don't have the experience life experience.
I was just gonna get into this.
If you don't have the life experience behind it,
real.
So you don't
it's
have
so
the
real.
heart behind it. So there's no way. Like, I don't know what I know everyone has a different method for acting.
Yeah,
but it's really hard to play a character that you can't understand.
I'm so glad you talked about that because I took a class in college. It's called NonWestern Theatre, and we talked about the idea of cross-racial casting.
Ooh.
And there are certain plays and certain things. Like, for example, I adore bunraku, no kabuki theater. I adore those. I don't have the cultural understanding or even racial understanding I would never feel comfortable directing a piece like that because those plays are so rooted in culture and so rooted in who you are those are Japanese styles of theater, for those of you who don't know. It's the same thing is being trans is a very, I don't want to sound like I'm being generalizing, but a very specific experience.
Well, it is.
For example, I played a trans character in college. And at the time, I thought it was such a great opportunity because it was a way to delve into something that wasn't me. But I get it now. I've been dwelling on this idea of should cis and straight people play gay and trans roles, and I think you're right because there's so much to be said about your personal life experience going into a character that it's just not there. And I think it's the same thing as again the example of the non-Western theater approach is I shouldn't be directing Shakuntala even though I love that play. As a white person, I don't understand the cultural significance of that type of theater. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that kind of goes hand in hand with that. I'm having a moment right now. Holy shit, I was on the opposite camp. I was like, F it. If you can play the role, play the role. And now I'm leaning more towards not. I'm leaning more towards what you said.
Here's my other part to this. If there are no trans actors
up for the role,
there's no problem casting a cis actor. I have no issue with that. And here's the other part. With what you're saying, I don't actually see a problem with, let's say, a white person directing,
like a trans piece, maybe
a trans piece, or not a white person.
I know,
but you know,
white people shouldn't be directing trans pieces, y'all.
Well,
bunch of white people coming in, fucking up my gender identity.
And there you have it, and that's the show.
Good night, everyone.
So we're drunk. Really.
This should have been the first one we did. This is a very serious topic.
I don't see any issue with white people directing a play that was written by a person of color.
Fair. Well, yeah, Raising the Sun is a good example of that, too.
The thing is, you will put your own spin on it. The thing is, you just can't change key parts of it.
You can't. There's certain aspects of example. We'll stay away from racial things, but trans experience that need to be a part of the story and part of what is being portrayed. Yeah. And I think a person who's cis can understand and sympathize
to a certain extent.
But they can't empathize because they haven't experienced it
exactly.
Personally. It's such a sticky topic because art. There's so many forms of art. And there's so many perspectives and scopes, and I think why the cis actor playing the trans character is hard, because as a cis person, you see the world in a very specific lens. You have, let's say your lens is about here.
Yeah.
And a trans person has the same scope, but a different lens they're viewing it through.
Yeah.
And so you really have to dig deep and do your homework and really try to find out what that's like to be able to play that kind of role.
And I'm not saying
crazy.
that you can't play that role.
It's very possible.
But what I'm saying is when you have trans actors like, let's say, Laverne Cox, and who did Orange is the New Black and whatever, when you have you have maybe 5 leading roles for trans actors and you have 6,000 trans actors looking for work, why are you only casting the cis actors
especially
in
if
these
they're
roles?
Talented enough to do it.
Especially when they have the talent to do it.
I know a handful of trans actors that are incredible.
Oh,
and,
Yeah, and I mean, we've seen them. And like, The Fosters, actually. The
Fosters, Sense8.
Sense8. We've seen so many, you know, Laverne Cox, she's gorgeous and beautiful and an amazing actress.
Incredible actress.
Why are they not casting these actors, and why are they casting cis actors in these roles?
I feel it.
I just think that we could be doing better.
I agree.
I don't think that cis actors can't play trans roles. I just think that we could be doing better.
I'm so into that. I think this is a really heavy conversation that I want to know what you guys think about this. Again, you know, we say this every time, but this is just our opinion.
Yeah.
This is our perspective on what we're talking about. And, you know, we're not claiming to be experts on this kind of stuff.
Definitely
You know,
not.
we have some knowledge, but we're not necessarily, we're not experts. And so it's our silly opinion right now.
I mean, we're drunk.
We're a little lit.
We're trying.
But I would love to know what you guys think. I think this is a good place to wrap this conversation up. Thank you so much, guys. Please, please, please let us know what you think. Talk to us about this. Be a part of the conversation with us.
Definitely.
Cheers to you, my friends. Thank you so much.
Welcome to the conversation. I had fun. That was a good one.
That was a really good one. This was some shit. This was some absolute shit. And we didn't cover... I wanted to go more into this one.
There was so much more.